Welcome to Dark Loops Productions, Dragons in the House, a podcast for discussing the HBO series House of the Dragon. I'm Dr. Scott Jordan, aka Zombie Scotty, cognitive psychologist, philosopher at Illinois State University. And tonight, I once again am blessed with the presence of the wonderful women of Sistah Speak Productions to talk about this whole damn series and figure out what we liked and what we didn't. So, ladies, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves. And as we did last time, I'm going to ask you, now that the series is over, to still pick a favorite character and see if that may have changed. So I'm going to go around my screen and I'll ask Sister J.
I'm Sister J, aka the J is for Jennifer, and I am retired, which
Wonderful.
I really love.
Wonderful.
I'm a retired lawyer. Yeah. No lawyer jokes. But I also write fiction, but I'm not doing that anymore because I got bored. So my favorite character. Oh, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Sistah Speak Nation. We have a nation, and we just now formed a conglomerate.
Yes.
To deal with the realm.
What the hell does that mean?
So we got the Sistah Speak realm. But anyway,
are you going to start taxing my ass?
Hey, you better watch. But
you got to pay that poll tax.
My favorite character probably still is Rhaenyra. She's my fave.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. How about you, Sister A?
I am Sister A, aka Allie. I am from the great city of Boston. I am privileged to be a member of the Sistah Speak realm, nation, and family.
Conglomerate.
I forgot the conglomerate already.
There you go.
And my favorite character has changed. I am now Team Rhaenys.
Snap.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's
yes,
good.
They played some very cool cards for her these last two episodes. Excellent. How about you, Sister K?
I am Sister K, aka Kelsey, and another sister from Sistah Speak Productions. And yes, as along with Sister A, my favorite character has changed as well. And it's a hard. Rhaenys is up there. I think Rhaenys would be my next favorite after my other one. I'm not going to mention the name.
You're not going to mention
Well,
it?
we need to know who.
We'll get into it.
Got to know.
We'll get into it.
So mysterious.
No, we have to know which character.
Well, it'll come out.
No, Rhaenys.
Yeah.
Is your fave. Okay.
He wants to hold that high joker till later in the game.
No, I don't have any other favorite.
Right.
My favorite was Damon, but we'll talk about why.
I see.
They did some stuff to him.
Sister LM, we know why she changed.
Yes, we do.
All right. So, Sister LM, how about you?
Hello, everyone. I am Sister LM. I am the remaining sister of Sistah Speak Productions /podcast /realm /nation. All
Conglomerate.
I'm shaking over here, man. I gotta get a lawyer or an attorney to be part of the nation now.
The LM stands for El Marie, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And my favorite character is still Damon.
Man, did they do some stuff to Damon in this last episode that really pushed your limits?
Came out.
Right?
I still like Damon too.
He's still my favorite.
So if I say Damon's my favorite character, everybody's gonna say, "Oh, you misogynist." The thing is, Rhaenyra knew who he was.
Of course,
absolutely.
She knew exactly.
Yes.
So that whole thing. She should have. I suspect she would have known that when it was the last card in the game, she was going to act like her dad. That's fine. I love it. That's who she is. She knew who Damon was. She knew that he wants to be king. So when he starts joking on her like he did and stuff, I'm not sure her character would have ever framed the issue to let it get to that point. I don't know, man. I have to say, I have to say my favorite character is Damon, but that doesn't mean I love him. But of all the characters in the show, he's the one who's been clearest about who he is the whole time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Go ahead.
me and Sister LM, us two little shorties,
Did you
we
have a little
got a different
controversy
take on
on
this
this issue?
day.
We had this
I love it.
conversation
Yeah, we
just
had
last
this
night.
conversation
I imagine.
because the point is, I wasn't that bummed out about him choking her up. First of all,
Yeah.
we know who he is.
We know
As I
who
had
he
to
is.
remind folks, he killed his first wife
He
with a
killed
rock.
his first wife.
Exactly.
Bashed her head in.
Yeah.
You know
No.
who he is. Number two, like I pointed out yesterday, if you are in a group full of people planning a war, and right after you utter something, the queen says, clear the room. That's embarrassing. So you got that. He's grieving too.
Mhm.
Viserys was his brother. That baby
Yes.
was his daughter.
Exactly.
So, he's grieving too. And then on top of that, his little ego, she just said, clear the room. Everybody, people look at him like, oh,
Like,
you choke out
in
your wife?
trouble.
Like he just got
And-
called to the principal's office.
And
Yeah.
my response to
That's a
that is
huge-
Well, and on top of that, just like I said, then she started talking that yin yang, just
She
like
didn't
his
talk no
brother
yin
did.
yang. She wasn't
What
talking
was
no yin
about.
yang.
To him, it was the song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
He didn't want to hear that.
And
It's not the time and place for
Thank
a Song of Ice and Fire.
And-
We need to figure out how we're going to
and that
respond
gives
to
you
this
rights
war.
to put your hands on my neck.
Exactly.
No.
Uh,
I don't
Nah.
understand. Where was this uproar when he killed
I didn't know her.
his wife?
Yeah, we
We
didn't
didn't
know
know her. We didn't know her.
Come on.
just
That
met
was
the bit-
way
we just
more
met her.
brutal.
Yeah, we
That
just
was
met
way
her
more
two
brutal.
minutes before.
I love it. The reason
Anyway,
I love
let's
it is
move
because
on.
no, but what I loved about it is the stakes got so high in this episode that you saw who everybody really was.
Yes.
Even the dragons, you saw what they really were.
Yes.
Right? And Viserys taught that a while
knew
back.
who
You know,
Hmm.
you don't control these things. These are nuclear
No.
bombs with wings, man.
Episode
They
1.
can do their own thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
We know who he is. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was or I forgot.
Yeah.
I didn't forget who he was, but it doesn't justify, it doesn't give you the right. It does. I don't care
No.
what happened. You don't yoke up your wife that just
No.
had a damn baby, that stillborn
Yes.
baby.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask, I think that, so for me, that was a choice in the writing room because he could have told her how pissed off he was.
No,
Without
a
having to
million
put
other
his hands on
scenarios.
her.
No.
That's who he
no,
was.
No.
That's going to happen.
It's really annoying to me
Oh,
when people try to put 2022 mores
I'm with
on
you.
these shows where this
I'm with
is
you.
how many 100 years ago, you know? Okay.
Yep.
So you don't like the fact that it, in your opinion, it's domestic violence and blah, blah. That's fine. But the
Yeah.
writers shouldn't write. They have source material. They live in a patriarchy
Okay.
where the husband was going to he made the choice.
Mm.
Viserys made the choice to have his wife cut open to save the
Right.
baby. She didn't make
Yeah.
that choice.
No.
He did it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
No.
I didn't like that
see
shit
what-
either.
I don't see what the problem
And
is.
I didn't like Viserys either.
With focusing on this one little thing when he killed his wife.
well,
Yeah.
we talked about this too. Didn't like
All
his
right.
ass either.
We can't be mad because Damon has been the most consistent character
Yeah.
the whole
Absolutely.
season.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting. It was interesting to watch, Rhaenyra. So I think I wrote into you guys, Rhaenyra's her daddy's daughter, but she's not Viserys, right? In
Mhm.
other words,
No.
she's not going to compromise her crown
No.
for the
Right.
realm, but she's pretending like she's gonna. That's
Yeah.
kind of
But
what
see,
was
all
going
bets
on.
are off now, though.
Well, yeah, because of the fact that they killed her
Mhm.
son. But when Viserys was the whole peace thing, right? And then Rhaenyra comes in with the whole peace thing. I'm not saying I'm anti-peace or anything like that, but you got to run that simulation quicker. When am I going to get nasty? What is it going to take for me to get
Mhm.
nasty? And what it's
Well,
going to take
but-
for her kid to get killed?
The
All right,
thing-
then
the
you got to
thing
live
about
with that
that-
choice.
What?
Whole
Right.
scene is that Damon was saying true, was in exactly what he was telling his brother way back in the day.
Yeah.
What you can try to be for peace all you want to, but when they come knocking at your door with the knife or the gun or the whatever,
What you gonna
Right.
do?
you have to back that. You have to do what you have to do, which is true.
Yes.
She was trying to though wait until she didn't want to just go out and start because they anointed Aegon the king to go and start the war. And so
Right.
you get that part, but he was ready to go from jump, even when he didn't even hear about
I'm with
that
Damon
part.
there. I'm with Damon there. And C-Snack was the one that said the very thing that she needed to hear, but she just kind of brushed it off. And that is, the high towers were loyal to you too. They pledged
swore
to
oath.
you too.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
got to answer that treachery.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it was interesting that C-Snack said something that his wife didn't, right? Because his wife didn't bow once. That whole episode, she did not bow. But I
Didn't
loved
even
how
tilt
she
her head down. Didn't even tilt it.
Yep,
You know how
nothing.
he tilted? He didn't.
Maybe
he
a little
didn't-
smirk. That was
She just
it.
went.
Well, I give that was such a cool moment, and I give the writers credit for building it up to the point where everybody's bowing but her, but she's still at the same time admiring the position Rhaenyra's in, and so it comes out as a smile. What does that smile mean? Well, it takes 10 hours of story to get there, and I loved it. Her battle armor was awesome.
Yeah,
It was cool that we saw her that way.
But once again, because of the society they live in, it is a 100% patriarchy. Then what she told Rhaenyra was, I can't make that decision to bend my knee to you. That's my husband's decision. And now that he's not dead and alive, you're going to have to wait till he heal up.
Okay, so now you're kind of talking episode 9, and I loved that scene where Rhaenyra went to her in the garden and said, they're coming. I loved it when she said to her, hey, doll, tomorrow the high towers are going to put you on your knees.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to stand alone. And what was wonderful about that is she can say, I'm going to stand alone because my husband gets the final say for our house. But it was also like, okay, girl, what are you going to do? I never got my chance to do this. What are you going to do? And I'm not going to cover for you. No one covered for me. Let me show me what you can do.
Well, but at that point, though, if I'm not mistaken, they did not know whether C-Snake was alive or dead. Because
she may have thought it was dead.
The report was that, he couldn't possibly survive, and all this stuff. Well, in episode 10, I mean, he's recuperating.
Yeah.
So that is why, or at least that's what she's saying to Rhaenyra, he has to make that decision whether our fleet is going to back your house.
Yeah. So what'd you guys think of C-Snack bending the knee?
It's appropriate.
Yep.
Well,
and he should,
because she told him to, though.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is like, I have to wait for my husband to say, but I'm going to tell my husband what to say.
Yeah. Yes, there you go.
Yeah. She did. Yeah. She did.
Yeah. That's what she did.
And that's the only healthy. That's the only heathy relationship in the whole show.
And did you notice how the whole time he was talking, he would look over at her?
Oh,
yes. At Rhaenys. So
But even after he tilted his head, she didn't tilt her head. She was like,
No. Everybody knows who's in charge. Everybody knows who's in charge. And
but she's thoroughly with her, though, because she really did appreciate the fact that Rhaenyra included her granddaughters.
Yes.
And the planning and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was a fantastic move by Rhaenyra.
It was a good scene.
And then in episode 9, it was a fantastic move by Rhaenys to, I can't speak for my husband, but she promised to marry those kids. So that must be what we want. I mean, she made her Game of Thrones play. Threw that down right there.
But you know what, though? She kind of, I think because everybody knows that Viserys was rotten away. And here he made his little painful trek. And he just looked like he was in so much pain. All the way down that hall to the Iron Throne. Okay. And so, I mean, she's quick. She's quick. She could read the room where, Vaemond was not reading the room.
No.
See,
care.
in his little
No.
quest to,
Yeah.
you know,
His
Oh.
ego.
yeah, his little ego.
Yeah,
wouldn't let
the
him
ego.
read the room. But she read the room. So if it's really good, in my opinion, that they she had that conversation with Rhaenyra in the garden. Because
Oh, yeah.
when they left that conversation, she was not with Rhaenyra, and Rhaenyra knew that, and
Yep.
she felt
Mhm.
that. That's why she was so surprised when Rhaenys said, "Oh, and then our kids are betrothed and stuff." But see, I like the way these actors play because
Oh yeah.
we know that Rhaenyra was surprised, but she just played it off like, this is what we planned.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't
Yeah.
go,
Yep.
ooh,
Mhm.
yeah,
Exactly.
you know,
Poker
yes,
face.
No,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, it was
Exactly.
great. That was great. So, and then I think that's when C-Snack's brother really got ticked.
Oh, he got played. He
Oh,
totally got
yeah.
played.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
The
right.
poke.
Everybody's playing the game all the way through to the point where Rhaenys when Rhaenys says, I got to stand alone, she's also kind of saying, you got to show me you can play.
Yeah.
And it was in that room where Rhaenyra came out and said to Vermont, my kids are the blood, you know, pure blood and
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. She pushed back. That's what
Mhm.
Rhaenys needed to see. You know, just like Otto needed to see,
No one is the
right, that
bold-faced
Alicent was
Ezra.
ready to play. I'm sorry, but they had to see how far you're willing to go. And Rhaenys
What'd you
said,
say,
okay.
Kay?
No, she did. She needed to see how far Rhaenyra was going to take it, knowing everybody noticed the bold face as lie.
Yeah.
Yes.
She gonna work
Yeah.
it till her death. Now
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, worse.
somebody that I want to be aligned with because it means they're gonna keep my shit to themselves
Yeah.
until the end. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No one
yeah.
is a bold faced lie for 3 of them.
Ugh.
Three,
Jesus.
not one.
Yeah.
Not one.
Not one.
Not two.
Three.
Three is
Three
just a
strong
straight up
boys.
Out
insult.
there and said, "My children are your nephews. They
Oh
got
my
Valerian
goodness.
blood in them. Ain't got a lick of it.
Mhm.
Ain't
Yeah,
no lick
they-
of that blood in them."
Yeah.
That's where
But she
Vaemon got
said-
outplayed. They
No
pushed him
DNA
into
test
being
back then.
exactly. No 23andMe back
Nope,
then, man.
can't be
No.
checked.
But Vaemon was wrong from the jump before
Yeah,
even that happened because
yeah.
Sistah wasn't even dead. There was no confirmation. He
Exactly.
didn't have a body. He was
Mhm.
jumping the damn
Yeah.
gun. He didn't even need
Yeah.
to go through all that.
Yep.
Yeah, and okay, so they wrote him that way. They could have wrote him a little differently, right? They could have wrote him a little to actually be his brother's supporter
No,
and
the
stuff.
first time we meet
but-
him, he was
well,
that
I'm
way.
just
Yeah, he
saying, you
was.
know.
Second
Was.
sons yet again.
He was that way the very first time
Yeah.
we met him,
Yeah.
and we saw
Out on the
C-Snack
battlefield.
in his
Mhm.
battle gear and everything,
Yeah.
and Lenore grown up,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
that brother's talking shit then.
Yeah.
Tell
Trying
you,
to
that
take
was one of
over.
the best scene. One of the best scenes of episode 9 was when Viserys walks in, takes his time, and he goes, so I don't understand why we're discussing this again.
Right.
Wasn't that
But-
good?
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
I love about it is the dude knew what he was doing, you know, and he always, I think we talked about this last time we talked, he got to let Daemon do the dirty work to keep him in charge. The thing he never did, or that we never saw him do, was be in the back room. Damon's like, brother, I got you. I know that
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
doing that work. And because you got to do that for the people that are doing your dirty work.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
Otherwise they turn into, you know, what Daemon
And I
felt
think
like.
that
Turn on
might
you.
have been all Damon needed.
Totally.
Of course.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that might have been all he needed. Okay,
Yeah.
so he was real upset when Viserys didn't name him Hand of the King. Okay, but if Viserys would have included him
Yep.
rather than sending him here and sending him there
Yeah.
and banish him here because of those people around the table telling him, "Oh no, you Damon's too strong. You got to send him here and send him there." Well, we now know that's because they was plotting shit then.
Yeah.
The whole time. The whole time.
The whole time.
All time.
And then when Aegon had his ascension to the throne, you saw his position turn 180 degrees
Yes.
when suddenly he's going to be in charge. And what I love
Oh,
about
yeah.
that is
Yep.
if someone had taken Daemon to the side and said, okay, my brother, you can't be on this for this reason and this reason, but trust me, things are going to work out a certain way, he could have managed it, right? Because-
that would have been enough for him, I think.
Yeah, I
I think so
should
too.
be acknowledged. Yeah, and
Mhm.
if Viserys, I'm sorry, but if Viserys were
wouldn't-
smart, he would have
he
had his brother on that table.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
definitely.
He
He
wasn't
would have
smart
had his
enough for
brother on
that.
that
No.
table.
Oh,
Wasn't,
he
and he was
wasn't.
too
Yeah.
wishy-washy. He could not make
Yeah.
a decision to
He
save his
couldn't,
life
yeah.
on his own.
Well, Rhaenyra would be smart enough for that.
She would.
I think
Yeah.
if she were to become queen, she would keep the teeth at the table. She would keep the sword at the table.
Mm.
And like she said, you know, when she and Daemon pretended to kill Sneak's kid, she said, now they're going to wonder
Laenor.
what we're not capable of.
Yeah.
You always
Yeah.
got to have the sword at the table. You just
Yeah.
got to let them know that this is not a
Can't
fixed deal.
wait for him to come back.
I know that's gonna be good.
I just
I
want to
know.
see
He was gonna.
Rhaenys's
Yeah.
reaction and
Mhm.
and C-Snack when, because we know he coming back. It might
he's
not
back.
even be
Yeah.
until the end of season 2, but
Right.
he's
But
coming
he
back.
will.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna know, oh, they
didn't-
planned this
They
to
planned to
help
keep
him,
him.
to let him be
Mhm.
free.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. And they don't know that he's alive.
Right.
Mhm.
Not
Suddenly
at
comes
all.
back, and all of a sudden all the inheritance dynamics change. And
Mhm.
who's in charge of this?
But you know
Mhm.
what? This is
I
what
think-
I'm hopeful. This is what I'm hopeful.
Yes.
I already read an article where the producer guy or the director guy says that now that they are up to the time where it's the Dance of the Dragons, they're not going to be changing out the staff anymore. You know, aging them and age progression
Oh,
and
okay.
everything. Season 2 is going to be like present time for
I
them.
got you. Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they gonna have to do something about the fact that Almond looks 35 and them boys look like they 19. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
they gonna
yeah.
have to do something about that because to me, it's jarring.
Yeah.
As a person watching the show, every time he comes on, it's just so jarring, especially when if he was interacting with Otto or Damon or something, it wouldn't be bad, but he's interacting with these little boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're all supposed to be contemporary in age.
Mhm.
That's just, they're going to do something.
Well, I got to tell you what, I am looking forward to season 2. You know,
Yeah.
what I loved about the end of this end of the series is now you figured out what they were writing for. Right. When she
Mhm.
turns around and she
Oh,
looks at
yeah.
the
Yeah.
camera, you know this
You
dance is
know.
going on.
Yep.
The nukes are being let go.
Yep.
And you understand why in a way you wouldn't have understood if they just told you this happened and that happened and this happened and that happened. So I got no problem with the series. I'm going to call it being so local. Or it was just about a family, right? It wasn't, you know, Game of
Right.
Thrones season 1, Lannister's just coming down, going up to Winterfell. But I'm fine with it now. But I need to see them dragons flying over Westeros. I
But
need
I
to
think-
see that happening next season,
True.
right? Right.
Yes.
But I think they did an excellent job this whole season 1 establishing the background information for
Yep.
those of us that didn't read all the books, because
Mhm.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of book
Mhm.
reader people out there and they post shit all the time, but
Yeah.
I haven't read any of the books and
Right.
I feel like I know and understand
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
the people are, their background,
Yep.
Mhm.
and you know, all the way back to the first men even, because
Right.
we already got that story in Game of Thrones, you know, about
Right.
Mhm.
the
We
tree
even
people
found
and
out
all
some
that
new
stuff.
relations in this current
Exactly.
this last episode.
Yes.
How they're
Mhm.
related to the
So-
Aarons and the Baratheons. We didn't know that before.
Yes.
That's
Right.
fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah.
and let's talk about this Baratheon dude.
Boros.
They can't read.
Dude can't read. He was doing his
Can't
best.
read.
Now, LM said he can't read at all. I thought he
Mm-mm.
just
Can't.
couldn't read High Valerian
No,
because they would
cannot.
probably write the
No.
note in High Valerian,
Mm-mm.
kind of like, you know, a spy type thing.
He can't
Tell
read
you
it
what, man.
At all.
So you're the boss of your local realm. You can't read, and your Meister don't know that. Look, no,
Yeah.
the Meister should be. As soon as someone walks up with a message, the Meister should be coming over to cover for
Exactly.
you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. Don't let them
That means
know.
the king's
Right.
he's too stupid to know that's going on. So maybe he
Yeah.
shouldn't be.
He had to call.
Yeah.
He had to wait and have them go get the Meister.
Right.
Yeah, no, that was pretty embarrassing. It was a lot of fun to
He
watch.
wasn't
though.
embarrassed.
Yeah, he
Well,
wasn't.
that's
He
true.
wasn't.
He was not embarrassed. It's like, get over here. He didn't say read it for me though, but he's passed it. to
No,
me.
he just gave it to it.
He just
You know,
gave it to him. Absolutely. So I'm going to ask you guys about a character that I actually really like, not because I like him as a human, but because I like how he's come about, and that's Aemond. I like the story of Aemond. because I loved it when Luke showed up and he said, "Good evening, Lord Storm." Or Strong, yeah. I loved it because he knows, and they all know. And if that whole genetic line stuff is supposed to be important, then he's right. So
he's a bully.
He is a bully. That got
plenty of them out there.
No, I just think that the way they created his problem was well crafted. And I think he's going to be an amazing, we're going to call him a villain, but we're going to call Damon a hero. I mean, what do we?
No.
Yeah, right.
But it doesn't have to be one or the other. It does not have to be one or the other. And we already know that Damon is going to have to kick his ass. And that's going to happen.
So?
Now, whether it happens in season 2 or 3.
Oh, I think they're going to go at it.
They're going to clash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
go
ahead.
Because you could, well, at least in my opinion, I interpret his behavior. He wants to be like Damon, but he's not like Damon.
Well, he also doesn't.
He wants
have the
to
position.
be like Damon. They're going to clash. Oh yeah, they're going to clash.
So I had a conversation about episode 9 at the dinner when Aemond and I think Jacaerys almost start to get in a fight, and Damon steps in and he gives Aemond this look, and my feel that Luke was, okay, you want to be me, I get it. Let me let you know that these boys are not long for this world because my genetic son is going to be the heir, not these guys.
No.
I gotta tell you. He's like, brother, take care, chill out. I'll take care of him. And what do? They send him out on a flight in a storm by himself at whatever age he was.
He didn't know that was going to happen. No, to me, that look said to Aemond, don't start none, won't be none.
So I felt it like, don't worry, I get you. And by the way, we are the 2 dragons in the room for real, right? Damon and Aemond were the 2 real dragons in that room. And Aemond would have gone off with Damon if Damon had asked for it. Probably would have died.
He would have, because
he is like Damon light, right?
He wants to be like Damon, but he's not like Damon.
Well, because he's not in the Queen's house, right? And his anger is a little.
He's not going to ever be like Damon. He was bullied as a boy. He became a bully himself.
Yes.
Now he's filled with all this hatred and evil because of his, eye, and he feels like he needs to get back at the world, and that's never going to be.
Never going to change.
Never going to be in a position. Well, I mean, he probably will at some point be in a position where he can try to have some power.
Yeah.
But not in the way that he wants. He's not in the way.
Fair
he's
enough.
Ruled by fear. He's going to have people scared of him and bully people. But that's not the way you would want it to happen.
Yeah.
He can't play the game as well as Damon.
No, he doesn't have the. He's not old enough. He doesn't have the maturity.
To
hold his emotion.
That's the thing. He's not mature.
He let all his emotion from losing that eye.
Yes.
Start all this. Stuff.
Even though he looked 45, but he's not emotionally mature.
And they don't have anyone coaching him on how to deal with all this either. It's
his
festering.
mama ain't doing nothing but slapping him upside the head.
Of course not.
Yeah, I know what to do. That's all
she's too busy giving foot fetish sessions with Club
Candy.
Wait a minute, Clubfoot Larry.
I'll tell you what, I am so damn square, straight up, capital S square. I didn't know what was going on in that scene the first time I watched it.
As soon as she took her shoes off, I knew. I said, "Oh Lord, no!"
Oh my God. I need to get out into the world and find, people. Second time it's like, oh, wait. Oh, man. No, it took me the second time to figure out, damn. But then that means she's complicit too.
Of course.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
That's what that scene showed.
Yep.
Then
and
you
it was
recognize...
just like I was saying from what episode 2? Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. So she's playing a Game of Thrones light kind of game, right?
No,
I mean, she doesn't really have the game.
She is so delusional. She's exactly like Rhaenyra said to her. She said, now everybody sees
you. Yeah. Okay, so what do you guys think of Otto Hightower going up to Dragonstone a second time? I mean, how did Damon let him go?
Yeah.
How did they let him live?
Yes.
And how did Renice not burn them all up?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess it has to do with. I guess what they're trying to do is make it clear, because when they told Rhaenyra that they crowned Aegon king, they did it in the sept, and they had all the people there. She goes, "Oh my God!" So she did it in front of the public, so they all believe that he's the true king. So I guess they do value what the public thinks, but man,
But
that
the public was forced to be
Yeah.
there
Exactly. Yeah.
no,
and forced to accept it and witness it.
you're right. No,
It's a farce.
And I mean, she was sitting right there when Damon said to Renice, "Oh, and all this going on, but you lived."
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, yeah. And we kept saying, we
Yeah.
kept yelling at TV.
And you
"Save
let
your
them
cars,
live?"
save your cars."
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
Right.
feel like it's a little bit
Exactly.
like we used to talk about in The Walking Dead. You know, you don't, at the moment, like she said, it wasn't her war to start. It wasn't her thing to fight.
Mm,
But more, I started thinking about, like in The Walking Dead, we would always say, okay, they let that walker go. And a
mm.
season later, that same
Yeah.
damn walker gonna come
That
eat it.
same one.
Right,
And
right.
because you didn't do what you
Yep.
should have done,
When you
like,
let him
oh,
live.
like Morgan was the main one.
Yeah.
Yes.
He could have killed the wife that turned.
Mm.
And because he didn't kill her, because he couldn't make himself do it, because he loved her,
Yes.
what, years later, she ended up eating the baby.
Oh, Lord
So,
have
Do
mercy.
you think that's what's going to happen to
Well,
Rhaenys?
so it makes me think, well, no, I think that's just life. Like a decision you make today,
yeah.
you don't know the ramifications that decision is going to have
Mhm.
Yeah.
2 years from now. So in this situation,
Yes.
we're all saying burn their asses up.
Yep.
But that's just not her to do that without it being a bad, like a true war. Like she's not just going to arbitrarily kill people. Like they'll do that. She's
Yeah.
not
Well,
like that. But
to
because she
me-
didn't do that, now we can now see, okay, now all this war and shit's going to
I love it.
happen
Yeah.
because one person could have taken care of.
Yeah.
First of all, her killing them wouldn't have stopped a war.
No,
It
she had
wouldn't
no
have stopped the
problem
war.
killing a couple hundred
Yeah.
people with a dragon coming
See,
out.
now
They said,
Right.
That's what gets me. That's a hypocrite to me.
well, don't
Oh,
kill the
yeah,
one
I can
percenters,
kill all
man. You
these
can't do
innocent
that.
folks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You
can't
had
be
no
killing the people
problem
out on
killing the
Martha's Vineyard, but
bystanders.
Thank you.
heard all
Knowing
those
good and
people
well
trying to
that
get
they
there.
were hurted because you were hurted.
With
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
But again, it wasn't her thing to do.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that this happened. I mean, I'm pretty sure that a few years from now, when the whole realm is burning, she's going to be like, oh shit, I should have just burned
I
their
should have
asses
done
up.
that.
But,
What-
you know,
yeah. Well, what I love about this conversation is, everybody's got their own scale in life where they can hit problems head on. Some people can't confront people personally, so they'll go behind the scenes and try to get the system to work for them. Some people have the skill to go to the system and say, this isn't going to happen this way. Sometimes they get squashed, sometimes they make it happen. So I like the way Renice kind of was consistent in her role and played her role the whole season and said, it kind of carried herself like, damn it, I know my role. You need to know yours if you're going to do this. And if you don't know your role, Rhaenyra, then I'm not going to help. You want to be queen, do the job.
Do it.
I'll be there if you're going to do the work. So I think
Well,
those are
but-
fun things to, put through different characters. And
Well, but I mean, it's not like she knew she was going to be queen right then. Yeah,
You know
she's
about
been
yeah.
groomed since she was 14.
right.
That's when he named her his heir.
Yeah.
But she did not know. She just got back
Right.
from King's Landing, taking her kids home.
Yeah.
She didn't know he was going to die that night. Remember?
But
And she
didn't
said,
they-
"Oh, I'll just come back on
Didn't they
Dragonback."
know that he was going to
Exactly.
die
That
very
he was
soon?
very close to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
she had to
Should have
know.
hung
Well,
out a couple
That's
days.
true.
Somebody
too,
should have
but-
hung out.
But it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Damon too. Like Damon saw just like she saw.
Mhm.
Right.
Damon was skittish. He was acting like he didn't
Yeah.
want to even be in
Yeah,
there.
but you know what? I
Yeah.
did not buy
his
Renice's
his first
explanation, though.
thing that he said
because-
what
Sister
ahead.
K, you go first, and then Sister J, please. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that, Damon, when sorry, I lost her name. Rhaenys came in and told them, and his first words were, "How'd he die?" They killed him.
Oh yeah, he went
Really,
into
Damon?
that quick.
Like, you
I
didn't
know.
see him on the last breath walking
Right.
all the way down, and
Yeah.
he could barely.
That's true.
He stood
I
up
love
and could
it.
barely,
I
So
love
he's
it.
already. It's just like one of those, I don't know, people that don't want to admit to themselves what they know.
Mhm.
Because they see it with their own eyes. They know, but he does not want to admit to himself. He wants to always find that or think that someone's trying to do something
Blame.
to them.
Yeah.
Blame somebody for it.
Yeah.
Instead of realizing, of anybody who died, he was one that you could have seen would have died from natural
Yeah.
causes or from whatever
Yeah.
he's got.
No.
Not that they could have killed his ass 6 years ago.
Long time ago. Yes.
Long
Long
time ago. They could have given him an overdose of milk of the
That's
pocket,
true.
but they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Which is why Rhaenyra did that little speech where she's like, "Look, y'all been hanging in here with this. I see. Thank you. Taking care of my daddy and stuff." So I don't know. So Damon just has a different perspective and a different way of dealing
He's got
with
a
stuff,
different
and I think
story
he's always
he has
got to
to
blame
fill in.
somebody. He wants to, instead of just dealing with the emotion, he has to go fight,
React.
kill, choke.
But that's a part of his personality. That's
Yeah.
just a part of his makeup.
That's the
He's
dragon.
been that way from the first episode. But my problem with Rhaenys is the fact that she's a hypocrite. First of all, she killed all those innocent people
Yeah.
getting out of the dragon pit. Number one. Number two, she had previously in I think episode either 7 or 8 said, well, hey, as soon as they come after Rhaenyra, they're gonna come after our grandkids too, because they forever linked.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So you don't want to kill these greens,
Right.
stand up there on the stage with this bogus coronation, knowing that, like when she went and told him, they coming for you, Rhaenyra. Well, they coming for your grandkids too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
No,
could have
that's-
put a stop to that shit and just dracars their asses.
So do you guys, I mean, what I want to ask is, do you know people like Damon and do you know people like Rhaenys? And what I mean is, Damon's going to hear whatever and interpret it to fill in his story, right?
Mhm.
He was looking for reasons to blame Viserys's health on Alicent and and Otto.
Sure.
So there are people that are just looking for things that they can fill into their story to get what they want. And then there's people like Rhaenys out there who want to pretend that what they're doing isn't about them. It's some higher value. And so I'm just wondering if you guys know people like that in the world, or is this something Martin
like
just made
that.
up and it doesn't exist?
I like that you said she tries to pretend, because that's what I see with Rhaenys. Mentally, she tries to pretend that she does not know certain things. Like, it's not my problem. It's not my issue. You have to make that decision, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right.
And I don't like that. But that's her. And I think a part of it, now that I'm thinking about it, I think a part of it is because of that conversation back in episode 2 or 3, when she and Rhaenyra had just been named heir, and they had that conversation in the little garden thing.
Mhm.
Balcony
Yeah.
Balcony.
And I'm thinking, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know how to put it, but in my opinion, it's not that she was gleeful. That's not what I mean. But it was just, to me, her whole demeanor when she went to Dragonstone and told Rhaenyra,
Yeah.
Viserys is dead. Them greens coronated Aegon. They coming for you. Well, you could have helped that shit.
So I agree. And I also noticed there was a glow to her character the whole time she was at Dragonstone. There was just this almost, I can't believe this is actually happening. I can't believe
Exactly.
that Rhaenyra can actually be the queen. I've been
Yeah.
thinking about this my whole life and it's actually happening. It was almost like she was having an out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
The whole time. And it also pointed out the very things you just said, right? That she never thought this was actually going to happen.
Mm-mm.
Probably not.
So she's
And
like,
she was
yeah.
real quick to volunteer to go patrol.
Oh,
That
she
one
was.
little straight, yeah. She was real quick. She said, "Hey, me and Melise can go patrol that."
So there are some
She was
people that are
quick.
fantastic soldiers and fantastic advisors, and they're not leaders, right? And maybe that's not what Bernice is. Maybe she's a fantastic advisor, maybe she's a fantastic soldier, and maybe she's just not a leader. And I don't know. I thought that,
Or maybe she just has the attitude of, listen, y'all didn't want me to be queen, so I'm
Yes.
not going to do queen things.
yes, yes.
I was thinking in my
That's a
mind,
good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Bernice
F you.
said, "My name is Bennett, and
And
my
I
ass
ain't
ain't
in
in it."
I love it.
So
And
you
yeah.
didn't want me to be queen,
Exactly.
Right.
So you elected this whole Weasley Wimp
Yep.
dude.
Right.
Y'all
Yep.
deal with what y'all deal
Yeah.
with what y'all decided.
Now
That
that
sure
is
was.
a good point.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
good point.
And the thing is, she's willing
That's
to
a good
risk
point.
her grandkids' life.
Yeah.
I don't think so, though. I really don't, because they don't want those girls.
That again?
They want the ones that were going to be the next. The Greens don't care about Bela and Raina or whatever their names are.
Yeah, but
They care about those
They would be
boys
collateral
that are-
damage.
No, they care
Yeah.
about those boys that are on the next line of succession.
Yes.
Those
Yeah.
are the ones they are going to get
Yeah.
if they try to get anybody.
And so
not
they
the
don't think they're going to
girls.
go after her granddaughters, Damon's daughters.
I don't think so.
Okay. No, okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, then
I
that
mean-
wasn't
I mean,
If
they
they're in
may
the
just
same
because they're
vicinity-
Damon's daughter.
Right.
I
They may.
disagree. Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
when it comes,
and if
but when Rhaenys was talking about they're
to
coming
the
for
boys
your-
they trying to get.
but when Rhaenys is talking about they're coming for your children, and when
Mhm.
Otto was
Talking
talking
about
about we
looking
can't
good.
allow these
Hmm.
anybody that's going to have a claim to the throne to survive.
Mhm.
He's not
Mhm.
talking about Bela and Raina. He's talking
No.
about Luke
Jason Luke.
and
Mm.
Jace
Mhm.
and that other little one.
Joffrey.
Joffrey.
What
You know,
happens when Damon tries to take over to be king?
See, now that's what I was waiting
Then
for.
the
well,
girls
that's
would be
that's
in the
well,
line of fire, but
yeah. Well, that's why
Well, and then
Luke
that's when
and-
Aemon is going to try to come for Damon.
yeah.
But
it's
I
going to
don't
be a
know that
mess.
he's going
Yes.
to try to be king.
Oh, you don't think so?
Damon?
I'm not
Isn't that
sure.
why he choked her out?
No.
No.
No, he choked her up because he was
No.
frustrated with her.
He was
Embarrassed.
frustrated. He didn't choke her out because he wanted to be king.
and
He
embarrassed.
choked her out because
Yeah.
she was getting
Yeah.
in the way.
That was an embarrassment. That was that ego
Yeah.
working.
Her
Like,
defeat.
Hoo-hoo.
Yeah.
I think Bob. So I'm not going to disagree with that. What I will add is I think that he also realizes that if Rhaenyra is not queen, he's never going to be king. I mean, if Rhaenyra is
Mm.
queen, there's a potential for him to be king. But once that's gone, he's got to go through the whole other side of the
Mm.
family. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I agree with everything you said about him feeling punked. That's the thing. Like Rhaenyra, and they seem smart enough to have had that conversation ahead of time. Baby, when this happens, you know I'm queen, right? You know I'm in charge. I know you're gonna want to kill everybody, right? So let's figure out how to handle that now.
Beforehand.
So when it
I'm sure
does
They should have
happen,
prepped.
I'm
Exactly.
sure
Little
they did
prep.
have that conversation.
I'm
Yeah.
But for Damon, it's like, okay, you're going to talk like this in front of company?
That's
Exactly.
I'm
exactly.
telling you.
And
That
oh,
was a
and-
part of
probably
it. I'm telling you.
Guessing her.
Yeah.
And
to
he
death,
did not
too.
choke her
Right.
out until she
Uh-huh,
started that
you're gonna be
same
queen.
talk,
Mhm.
her dad.
just like his brother.
Yeah. And I can see that pushing Damon over the edge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Mhm.
Rhaenyra does know that Damon will be quick to take over, which is why she sent, when she was trying to go through labor, Jacaerys in there to say, ain't nothing happening until I say.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes. And you know what? Now you guys have just given me a new understanding of that whole get it out scene. First of all, damn, right? That scene, Lord have mercy. None of you have ever seen that in a movie before. I haven't
No.
seen it in a movie before. And now, you make it, she has things that she has to do. And she doesn't want to even have a possibility of getting cut up.
Mhm.
She needs that to be over now. I thought I'd never
but
thought about
she
it.
saw what
Well-
happened with her mother.
Yeah.
And
I
once
think-
again, like I said,
think
a man
part-
made that decision. Yeah, cut
Yep.
her open.
Well, I think that's part of Well, first of all, I was saying, look, it's time to quit having babies.
Yeah.
Bring the tea out
And
because
showing this
Yeah.
shit.
it's
Yeah.
time to be. I'm done with the birth scenes.
Fair enough.
That's the only thing I'm like,
Sister A. We don't need to
done with
see
the
it.
birth scenes. But second of all, she knew there was something wrong when she started
Yeah.
having those labor pains, and it was early. They kept saying it's too early.
Yeah.
She was fixing to fly her ass back to King's Landing.
Yes.
She wasn't
Yeah,
ready to
yeah.
have this baby yet, but she started
No.
going into labor. She already knew
She knew.
there was
She
something
knew.
wrong with it.
Yeah.
And I think she had two things. She didn't want anybody around her to even try to cut nothing out.
Right.
She's like, I'm gonna make sure I have this baby myself. And
Mhm.
then ain't nobody gonna be cutting nothing. But also, I think she was trying to
Exactly.
make sure that before she get to the point of no return with that labor, that she makes it known what she wants to have happen, because she already knows he's in there
Mhm.
plotting and
Yeah.
ready to go
Making
fight.
them plans.
Of course.
That's why she was yelling for him.
So let me ask you
Probably
a
to tell
question.
him, don't be
Yeah.
doing no shit while I'm in here.
Yep.
Stop.
Of
Mhm.
course.
Why did they have that scene? And you know the scene I'm talking about with the birth. Why did the writers choose to do that?
Because it is a woman writer and a producer. And one of the inside the episode, that little short that comes after, this is maybe episode 3. She had said that we're going to see different things from a woman's perspective because they wanted to emphasize the I don't want to I can't think of a different word than plight, but the plight of the women in this society.
Mhm.
And I think that's why we keep seeing the births and stuff, because they want to emphasize, because just like Sister K pointed out, she needed to quit having them babies, but then so did her mother.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh,
Her mother
yeah.
had-
Viserys wouldn't let
Had
her.
5 child deaths and stillbirths and
Yeah,
stuff.
but her
Miscarriages
mother
and-
was different. Her mother was telling her from jump, this is the woman's job.
You're
This
right.
is what-
Exactly.
This is what we
You're right.
do.
Rhaenyra
You're
was like,
right.
I ain't doing it.
Right, but
I'm not
but she
doing it.
did.
But
But
she
now
is.
look.
And
Yeah.
now she's on 6, 7, 8, whatever.
Mm.
And now it's with
Her little
Damon.
helper said 5 times. She says, "Look, you've been through this 5 times." So
Well, and this is with Damon. And at some point, them genes is gonna collide and be like,
Yes.
nope,
Yeah.
it ain't gonna
No,
be
Not
good.
gonna happen. Yep.
yeah,
And then at this point, I'd be like, you know what? I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm now the
Right.
queen. We got some heirs. I think we just need to
and
keep
she
the
might.
tea-
I mean,
Yeah.
we don't
keep
know.
the tea brewing,
She might.
and we'll be good because I'm tired
Go
of
down to the
seeing all
pharmacy and
these
get me
damn
some of that
birth
Keep
tea.
the
scenes.
tea brewing.
Exactly.
Keep the tea. I don't even like tea. I would drink the tea instead of having to go
That tea
through
looked nasty though,
Oh,
do.
it doesn't even look like tea. It looks
It
like
don't.
thin,
and it was
Yeah.
kind
hot
of
milk.
bluish gray, wasn't
It's
it? Ooh,
bad.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it looked way too thick to be tea.
No, if you're drinking tea that looks like that, you got to ask yourself, how did I get to this point?
right.
Because tea doesn't look like that in my house. All
But
right.
at
So
this
what have
point,
we? Go
she's
ahead.
the
Go ahead,
queen-
please.
Sorry.
No, please.
At this
ain't no
point,
sorry.
she's the queen, and now she is needing to make decisions for the realm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think she's gonna have other things to do besides
Yes.
looking after these kids and having more.
Yeah.
So I think that her
Yeah.
Oh, but
It's
her
on her
whole
heart.
judgment is going to be all clouded up.
She's going full on Daenerys.
Of
here.
course.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
going to go full
Yeah.
because, and you kill my boy.
Mhm.
And I love the fact that Aemon's going to try to tell people he didn't mean for it to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter.
It doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
It's
you
done. Yeah.
gotta not
Should have
let
been
yourself
chasing his
get
ass
into the
then.
room. If you don't want it to happen, don't go into the room, right?
Yeah.
If you don't want it to
Yeah.
happen, don't hop on that dragon
That's right.
in a thunderstorm.
But
What-
I mean, poor little
ahead.
thing though. He should have just turned around and left.
Immediately.
He saw Vagar there, so he knew.
Was
who
that not some
Vagar
good movie
belonged to.
making, man?
It
Ooh, that
When
was
he,
was so good.
when he gets
It
up and he looks
was.
off in the distance and he
Yeah.
sees that Godzilla monster, you
Yeah.
know? It was Godzilla, man. I mean, and
Yeah.
then he walks
Godzilla.
out
Yeah.
and there's no
No, it's
Godzilla.
just big.
Damn. That's
That
that
was
was
so
okay.
good.
Let's just say that was some of the most amazing special effects I've seen in a
was.
while.
Yes.
Yeah.
That whole
Very
dragon
good.
thing.
Mhm.
Oh my God, with him flying and
Actually-
then Vagar flying over him as the
Yes.
shadow. Lord
That
have
big
mercy.
shadow.
Big.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
awesome. That was awesome. And I love the fact
Really
that,
good.
even we learned what everybody truly wants, even the dragons, right? And I love the fact that it was the little dragon that said, "Oh no, I'm not scared
Yep.
of you."
Yeah.
I know. Poor
Shit.
thing.
It was only the
Yeah.
second time I watched it where I recognized that Luke was telling the dragon, don't.
Yeah.
And little dude said, "Flame on." And he paid
Yep.
for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Totally paid for it. But he's a dragon. You don't do that. Yeah.
No.
one person pointed out that wrote into us. One person pointed out that Luke was speaking High Valerian to his dragon,
Yeah.
and we know that that's how they trained them.
Yeah.
And Aemon was speaking in regular
English.
speech.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And he
that
kept-
was, I didn't know
And he
that.
kept saying things like, "Stop, don't do it, stop." But he wasn't speaking it in High
Yeah,
Valerian.
yeah.
No.
That was a writing choice for sure to show that Luke was more mature than Aemon.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
right? That yeah,
this
Luke was
person
better
pointed out
trained.
that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
thought it was on purpose.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
dragon wasn't listening because
And
he didn't know
Vader
what he was
didn't
saying.
understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Mm-mm.
didn't recognize that.
Purposefully.
That's a good writing.
Yeah, it
ploy
was a
because
good
it
catch,
shows,
yeah.
But we
And then
know
Aemon-
because Aemon bonded with Vagar. He has studied. He listens
yeah.
when they were going through the training. So he
Mhm.
knows
Yeah.
Vagar can only understand High Valerian.
Mhm.
Yet
So you think he
chose-
was speaking non-Valerian to go be able to go
Yeah.
back and say,
Yeah.
"I tried"?
Sorry, I told
Exactly.
him.
He just panicked.
Exactly.
Do you think he
Because the
panicked?
whole
Or he
point
could
is
have panicked.
this.
Well,
Well, but the whole point is this.
panic.
he didn't panic.
If he
Benefit
didn't,
of the doubt.
but
But
even
Mom,
if
I
he didn't
told him to
expect for
stop.
Vagar, yeah, but even
Right.
if he didn't expect Vagar to like chomp them up, the point
Yeah,
is, I
that's
mean,
right.
Luke could have
Boys
fell
and
off.
toys.
It would have been the same
Yeah.
outcome. He still
Yeah.
would have died. I mean, he could have fallen or anything.
Like
Yeah.
the whole chase. If you're chasing him, what were you gonna do when you got to him?
Yeah,
Before
exactly.
he swooped down in those little
Right.
tunnels,
Yeah.
what was you gonna do?
Right.
And he would have fought. He would have bumped him. Did something. The
Yes.
dragon could have
Mhm.
fell. Luke
Yeah.
could have
Yep.
fell. So him
Yep.
being like, oh,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
buy it.
Chomped
I don't
him.
buy it.
I don't buy it either.
Mm-mm.
So it either means he's immature and he's a boy with a toy, or it means that he's just a straight up liar fool. He knew exactly what he's doing, and he's just going to pretend with everybody later.
It was the second.
You think so?
Huh. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they put that in there for a reason because they apparently don't want us to think that
Right.
he's all bad. But I think that that was a mistake because
Mhm.
Right.
his character up to this point
Yeah.
would not have felt remorse for that.
Not
No.
at all. Not at all.
2 minutes ago, he was trying to take his eye out. So
He
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
He was.
Good point.
No, he was. He was going to take
Thank
it too.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again.
Again. Exactly. What else stuck out
Those are
about
great
this
scenes,
show? The season. It was a great season.
This season, let me just say, however many years we are from Game of Thrones, I can't remember.
172.
No. I'm talking about how many years
From
we
when
are from
the series
season
ended.
8.
Oh.
From season 8 to now.
Yeah.
They have come a long way with the dragon CGI technology.
Yeah.
Every single scene with those dragons, I'm just glued.
Yeah.
to.
Oh.
It looks so real. And them old crusty ones, like we talked about, I
Yes.
love all the detail on them
Oh,
when
yeah.
they get
Yep.
close up
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love every single scene with the
Mhm.
dragons.
Mhm.
Every
That was a
single one.
good scene though when Damon went singing to that
Yes.
that big old one.
Vermithor.
That was really well done.
Like this guy right back
Yeah.
here, right
Very
behind
well
us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So how do you guys experience that scene in relation to season 2? Because we didn't see Damon on him at all
That's
in the
because
episode.
The bond with
yet.
him. That's what the eye thing was. He's bonding with him.
Starting. Yeah.
Because
So
our
that's-
question was, can you bond with more than one dragon at a time? Obviously you can, because he's got
Dragons are such players.
Syraxis.
Yeah, yeah. No loyalty at all. Yeah, yeah.
No loyalty.
Yeah.
No,
been
but
saying
this
loyal.
particular dragon He was the dragon of the king who named Viserys as his heir. So that's who he was. So when that king died, this dragon went off into the wild because his
so that's the
rider
one that
gone.
was missing that Damon was talking about earlier.
Yeah,
in the season.
Exactly.
And Damon just happened to find him, or was Damon hiding him?
No, he said when he was listing all the dragons that we have, this one is unclaimed and the other one's unclaimed, and they live here at Dragonstone. He said that. So they live there.
So he knows where they're at.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
He
we're
went
supposed
right
to
to
believe
them.
that that's going to
Yeah.
be him versus Aemond and his dragon. Is
Oh,
that going to be
absolutely.
the big?
Oh, of course.
Okay. They got the
Absolutely.
I
two
think that
biggest
is going to be
dragons
the
and-
big one. Vermithor versus Vagar for sure.
There you go.
Well,
Sounds
what's
like a
going to be
Japanese sci-fi
interesting
flick.
Yeah.
is well, what's going
And I
to be
love it, by the way. I
interesting-
love Japanese sci-fi. I'm there.
I know. But what's going to be interesting is if and they probably won't get to it until later because Martin had already said that he thinks in order for the whole story to be told, it should be 4 seasons. That's what he's saying.
It's better than
So-
8 that don't work. So
What'd be interesting is to see. We know that the dragons, they go away, like they're either killed or
Right.
whatever. They go away. So what's going to be interesting is to see how Vagar, being the largest one, how she ends. You know what I mean? Because
well,
who's going to ever win against her?
exactly. Well, I love it.
Well,
and I don't, if
we
it's
don't know
Game
how
of
big
Thrones. Oh, go ahead.
Vermithor-
No,
sorry,
we don't.
know how
No,
big
no,
the other
no,
one
sorry.
is.
It's all good.
Well, now that's true too. That's
So
true.
what I love about this show is that I feel guilty for saying Damon's my favorite character.
Why?
And
Don't.
no, what I'm saying is because of contemporary sensibilities, blah, 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 blah. Well, I can't just like subtract it from my life and say I love, but what I love about it is they create this space where there's no one that you say is good. And there's no one that you say is bad. They're just people living a life in a time. And I really like that.
I could
don't
say
know if I could
Aemon's
write it.
bad.
There's some bad.
There's some bad. Aegon is
How was Aemon bad, man? I mean,
Aegon is a rapist
Oh, fair.
and
No,
a drunkard.
no, that's Aegon.
Aegon.
Yeah.
Aegon.
She means.
Yeah.
He's talking about Aemond. But
Yeah.
Aemond, I mean,
He's-
is bad.
He's bad.
Because
He
he
is.
has
Well,
choices.
so is
There's-
Damon.
Well, yes. So,
Yeah.
he is too.
Damon
just-
is.
I'm just saying. I love the cast. I love the cast of characters.
But
and
Allison's bad too.
Yeah, there's a lot of bads.
There's
Just
a lot of
different
bad
levels.
right
And you know
too.
what? And
And
so
Clubfoot Larry,
Yeah.
and so
Larry.
is Rhaenyra, because she beat.
Yeah, she
lying.
is.
She
Yeah.
stay lying
She's
about
still
something.
lying.
I love it.
Stay lying about something.
Yeah.
Talk about these are Valerian children's.
No, I
She
love
swore on her mama, her dead
She
mama,
did.
y'all.
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Don't forget that.
She did.
So,
I love
but
it.
I like her and I get it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
still, they all have something that they
Yeah,
have done. They
definitely.
have lied.
Yes.
They have schemed.
But
to
that's
get
like
what
the
they
real
wanna get.
world, though.
Yeah,
straight
Nobody's
up.
all good or all
All
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the
True.
thing is they give us these characters that we love, and then
Yep.
yeah, I love it. I love it. And I just really appreciate how the finale told us, okay, this is how you should have been experiencing the season, right? Because the whole time we're watching it, I'm waiting for, some more, I'm waiting for more Westeros. I'm waiting for, more Lannister. I'm waiting for more Baratheon. And it's all, they called it the House of the Dragon, right? And I should have
Right.
known, but
Yeah.
it just stayed
Mhm.
very family oriented, very local. And that story paid off. And then, as you said earlier, it set up this incredibly cool season 2, where we know what's in everyone's head when they're hating so hard, flying their dragon.
Yes.
Right. We know
Yeah.
But-
all that tension. And I think that's an achievement.
We needed that
But it's
backstory.
really
Yes.
good,
Exactly.
or it was enjoyable to see some of the first people in the various houses, like
It was,
the
yes,
Lannisters.
absolutely.
That one Lannister dude
Right.
is a
Yeah.
a-hole, you know, and the Baratheon, he can't read, you know, and different houses. So
Yeah.
that's been interesting.
No wonder the Targaryens have such a low opinion of Westerosians. I mean,
Yeah.
they're carrying themselves like fools.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Lord Strong was probably the one Westerosian that we saw who was like, okay,
That's
that dude's
true.
got game.
Yeah. The Strongs
Mo-
did have, except
Yeah.
for Larry.
You know,
Yeah.
he's
Right,
gone.
except for
So,
him.
But they were the inheritors of Harrenhal, and that's what was interesting to me too, is we got to hear that myth, how it started
Yeah.
in
Yes.
this show, because in Game of Thrones, all we ever saw was like the shell of it, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like
So,
it's cursed and all that stuff, but we got that backstory, so that was interesting.
So look, I'm with you on that. And then in Game of Thrones, we had the Red Witch, who was a character telling us a story. We had someone telling stories about White Walkers. So I'm going to be honest with you, the Song of Ice and Fire on the dagger, it just fell a little thin for me, you know, because there wasn't really a character story around it. You know, it was trying to give Rhaenyra this burden. Well, but it was just a story her daddy told her. I mean, it wasn't there wasn't a movement in the world to make that important. It was just a conversation. Whereas
but that's
in the
because
series, go ahead.
Okay, but that's because it's my understanding that the King Jaehaerys, he's the one that was riding Balon, who's the dragon bones down in the crypt.
Yeah.
When they conquered Westeros.
Yes.
And so that was like soon after the first men. So this is like way, way, way before Game of Thrones. You know what I mean?
No, I got you.
So, yeah.
No, I got you. I just thought that we had this mythology conversation last time, right? The magic, the myth, it all built up over the seasons, and everybody was in it. Whereas the only people that were in it were, you know, Rhaenyra and Viserys, and it just fell a little flat for me. But I'm not saying it was wrong or nothing like that. It's just, you know, and Rhaenyra's like, I got to change everything because of this story my daddy told me. I mean, what? You know,
they threw it in there because we haven't had any like, I know it's centered on this family, but because we haven't seen anything else that would warrant that myth or dream or whatever, the prophecy, we didn't hear any conversation about wildlings, White Walkers, the North. They did talk about the wall like a couple times, like threatening people to go. That was it. There was no like, hey, we have a rebellion of wildlings coming, or we have we've seen somebody has reported some stuff. Like there was no other like, conversation about it. So it did kind of feel like they just threw it in there just to have it in there so that we know that it's coming.
You're right. Yeah.
But maybe they'll add some mysticism of that in season 2, because
I hope so.
I do miss that mysticism, and we need to start getting into, okay, what besides this dream that's been passed down or this prophecy that's been passed down has caused this to be in their minds, passing down to king to king, and why is it secret? Why are they keeping it a secret?
Viserys' dad probably had dreams every night, so why does one of them matter more than the rest of them? You know, they need to fill it out with people. And you know, like in season 1 of Game of Thrones, we had the Red Witch, we had but you don't remember the seasons. I don't remember the seasons anymore, but we had
the most intriguing part was that Night King. They took the baby. Remember the
first
wild
scene, right?
Take the baby, the little baby boys out in the woods and just leave it there.
3 or 4,
no. So we got to give
the first
these people
scene,
time.
right,
I get it. Yeah,
they started right off with the mysticism, and
they did.
Yes, they did.
They did.
I don't know. They might just
horses.
keep it focused on dragons and not all of the other myths and everything else in this one.
They might. We'll see what they do. So, anything else about this first season of House of the Dragon that
it was very cool to finally see a map.
Yes, I want that table.
That table.
Yes.
I love the memes. How did Stannis not know where the on switch was?
Right?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
you never put
hilarious.
I
candles
love
in
those
there.
memes.
No, we
Yeah.
never saw it lit.
Never.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I never
And
saw it
didn't
lit.
that chill run up your spine when they're all sitting around the table putting the little things on the different? It's
Yes.
like, okay, let's
Yes.
go.
Game
Let's
of
get it going
Thrones.
on.
Yep.
You get
But I
one
loved
season
it
of this
when-
family crap, and then I want some real stuff.
Yeah.
I loved it when C Snack was talking about, like
Mm.
he might have been gone for 6 years and got the fever and shit, but
Yes.
they won. So he
Yes.
says that, and he says, and I left enough
Finally.
troops there that we gonna keep the area. So now we
Mhm.
can block them off. And they honed in on that map. That was really cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
And C Snack was doing his job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He
Yep.
was doing his
Yes.
thing, and I'm here. I got you back now.
Yep.
And what he's also kind of saying there is, you got to stay strong now. This is the
Mhm.
real game. You can't
Real
back off.
thing.
Yeah.
And you can't
yeah.
do what your
Mhm.
daddy did. You cannot
Yeah.
do what your daddy did.
Well, I think he already knew that. I think that's why he said it, or
Yeah.
he paused before he did it. Because even though
Mhm.
Bernice told him that's what she thought he should do, I
Yeah.
don't think he made the true decision until he got there,
Yeah.
asking questions. She was answering them.
Yeah.
And remember when he was looking around at everybody, which already was totally different than her daddy, because the daddy would just say,
Yes.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
not talking about it. We're talking about
That's a very,
Yeah.
very good point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
those people talking
Yeah.
about what they gonna do.
Mhm.
Yes.
Total different experience than
Yes.
when he was on the council with Viserys. So I think
Mhm.
he was like, okay,
He's-
this
he's
is
not
already
a-
different.
Yeah, he's not at a table of idiots. I mean, yeah,
Right.
and I like the way you said that, because he's actually testing everybody there,
Yeah, he
and making
was.
his
Mhm.
decision
Right.
in
Who
real
am I going to
time.
be working with?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because I can't stand any more board meetings like
No.
those ones in Knots Landing, man. We got to get shit done for real.
You
here.
said
We gotta
Knots
have an
Landing.
agenda. Oh my God. I've done that
That's so
before
funny
too.
though. That is so
Knots
funny. Yes.
Well, Knots Landing was the same show without dragons, right?
It was.
Dynasty.
Yep.
See,
Yep.
that's not the first
Yeah.
time I've done
That show
that.
for
So
years.
true.
Showing
Yeah.
my
I thought about
age.
that show for
I am
years.
showing my age, Lord have mercy.
That was a good show, though.
I used to actually watch that stuff with my wife, man. Oh my God. Yeah. King's Landing, just so you know that I know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh
Excellent.
my gosh.
Anything else you all want to talk about?
Well, I just hope we see the white worm in season 2,
You know what?
because she's not dead.
No, and you know what?
No.
Either.
There's gonna be a direct squiggly line between her and
Littlefinger.
I was gonna say
No.
the other guy.
Varys.
Varys.
Oh,
yes.
Varys.
Varys.
Okay.
Yeah,
Varys,
there's gonna be a
Varys.
squiggly line.
Yeah.
It's gonna work out, and we're gonna love every second of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
And,
cool.
yeah, and
Ooh,
those
yeah.
kids
one
that were please go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
go.
sorry. The kids, what you're gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna become the spiders. Those
The
pits aren't
spiders.
going away. They're just gonna be cultivated.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So what were you gonna
I
say,
wanted
Kate?
to ask you, because every time they would focus in on Clubfoot's cane, I could
Yeah.
not figure out what that little symbol was.
I
But you know
haven't
how
figured it out
Varys
either.
was always called the spider, or
The spider.
spies were
Yes.
the spiders. I
Yeah,
was like, is this the start of that? Because
I think
I
you're
could
right.
never figure out if that was a spider or a snake or what it was that was engraved in there.
Yeah.
But
It
they
was a
focus
bug.
on it.
I thought it looked like a
times.
wasp or
Yeah,
something.
it was a bug,
Oh,
an
really?
insect
But
of some kind.
You
It
don't
was a
really
bug.
see it so long. It's hard to tell. Like
Yeah.
they don't focus on it.
I don't think it was a snake, though. I think it
Yeah.
was a bug.
I
Some
thought
I
it
kind
think
of
we
was
just stole their thunder for season 3. Right? It's like it's out there now. We get where you're going, right? That's one of the reasons I love these conversations. I don't care if I end up being wrong, right? I mean,
course.
Yeah,
it's just having the fun doing
just
the thing.
talking it out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because these kind of conversations, I value them very highly, because we may think it's about entertainment, but we're also revealing our own values about we're talking about these things, and I just
Yes.
love it. All right, I'll stop with the prof talk. Throw it on the floor. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Hmm. All right,
It
then.
was a great
So
season.
I
Yes.
thank you so much
It
for
was.
joining
It
me
was a
again.
great season.
And I just always appreciate getting together with you ladies and talking about these things. It's always a blast, and I always glow for 2 hours after I'm finished. So,
We do too.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
you're
happy
so
to be
kind.
here.
We do.
so before we go on air with you guys, I pass out sunglasses to the family. You know, so when I'm glowing later, you know that's just, no. So, Sister K, why don't you tell everyone where they can find Sistah Speak Productions?
We are everywhere, but the best place to go is sistahspeakproductions.com, and we have links to our YouTube, Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places that we are.
So now that I got you all in the Dark Loops Production studio, can you give me a little backstory on what you're going to podcast next? Or is that like a secret that you don't want to share?
We don't know.
We
You
don't.
don't know.
It's not
Yeah,
a secret. We just don't.
No, we don't know
Just
yet.
don't know.
Discussions
Okay.
yet.
We don't know
Cool.
yet. I mean,
All
we
right,
do
then.
reality, so
We have
watch a
other
lot of
ones that we
reality
do,
TV.
and
Mhm.
How many people get to
shows.
say that in their lives? We do reality. That's pretty profound.
Every day.
Every
In more
day.
than one way, too. We
Yes.
are realists.
That should be the back of your Sister Speaks t-shirt,
do
right?
reality.
We do
Reality.
reality. That's fantastic. I gotta remember, write that down. Because if I say I do reality, it just sounds narcissistic, right? But if I say
it
we do
doesn't.
reality, it sounds progressive. All right, cool. Well, you can find all episodes of Dragons in the House on YouTube at the Dark Loops Productions channel. If you want to write in, tell us what we got right, what we got wrong, or that you love everything we say, just leave it on this YouTube page or send an email to darkloopsproductions@gmail.com. And I will do my best to get this wonderful cast of human beings together and discuss your response with you. So there it is. From all of us to all of you, big hugs. And remember, all men
All
must
men must
die.
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 Thank you very much. Last time we did this, you said, and women.
We did.
And some women.
And some women.
All men.
And